No one rides the last train anymore. Because no one ever comes back. The clock on 42nd Street struck midnight. Neon lights flickered like dying fireflies. Rain smeared the reflections of yellow cabs and restless faces. Ethan walked alone, collar pulled high, eyes fixed on the pavement. He always took the subway home. Tonight was no different, or so he thought. He descended the stairs into the tunnel. The air grew colder, damper, heavier. Graffiti stared at him like eyes that could read his fear. The flickering light buzzed overhead, then died for a moment. When it came back, the corridor felt longer, too long. His footsteps echoed, but they didn't sound like just his. He stopped. The echo stopped half a second later. Someone or something was a step behind the sound. He turned. Nothing. Only peeling posters and cracked tiles. He exhaled sharply and kept walking. At the turnstile, his Metro card beeped red. Try again, he muttered. Second time, green light. Click. He entered the platform. The platform was empty. Only the hum of distant tracks. A train should have come 10 minutes ago. The sign flickered. Next train, 11:59 p.m., delayed. But it was already 12:03. Ethan checked his phone. No signal, not even one bar. He laughed nervously. Of course. Classic New York. A gust of air rushed through the tunnel, but there was no train, only wind. Cold, stale breathing. It sounded almost alive. He stepped closer to the edge. A faint growl echoed from the darkness. Deep, wet like metal grinding against bone. Then silence. He stepped back. Hello? His voice bounced back at him. No reply, then a flicker. Lights down the tunnel blinked. 1, 2, 3, like something moving past them. Too fast, too big. The air pressure changed. He felt it in his ears, in his bones. Something was coming. The rails began to hum. He thought it was the train. But the sound was wrong. It wasn't steady. It was pulsing. Thump, thump, thump. Something scraped the concrete walls. He saw a shadow bend around the corner, massive, slithering, dripping. He froze. Then, the train lights appeared. He sighed in relief. The train screeched into the station, but it didn't look right. The cars were darker, grimier, windows fogged from inside. Doors opened with a hiss like a creature exhaling. No one stepped out. Ethan hesitated. Then he entered. The lights inside flickered weakly. The car was empty except for old newspapers and one shoe. The air reeked of metal and rot. He sat near the door, gripping the pole. The train started moving again. Outside the windows, black tunnels slid past. He glanced at his reflection. He looked pale. Then his reflection blinked. But he didn't. He jumped up, staring. The reflection's eyes were darker, almost reptilian. It smiled slowly, then vanished as the lights flickered again. He stumbled backward. The car lights died. Total darkness. Then, a sound from the far end of the car. Something dragging along the floor. Is someone there? No answer. Only a wet dragging noise. Then, a low growl. He moved toward the connecting door. His heart pounded in his throat. Behind him something breathed. Heavy. Hungry. He yanked the door open and stumbled into the next car. This one was worse. Blood smeared across the windows. Claw marks in the metal walls. Something had torn through here. He turned back and froze. A silhouette stood in the doorway. Tall, misshapen, eyes glowing faintly yellow. It ducked to fit through the frame. Ethan ran. Car after car, doors slamming behind him. But the creature followed, slow, deliberate, confident. Each footstep rattled the train. He reached the front car, the conductor's cab. The window was shattered, no one inside, only blood, lots of it. The intercom crackled. A voice whispered, "Don't look at its face." He turned around instinctively and looked. What he saw wasn't human. Its face split open like a cracked skull. Teeth, too many, too long. Its breath steamed in the cold air. Ethan screamed and hit the emergency brake. The train shrieked, sparks flying, metal grinding. The creature roared, a sound that shook the rails. The train screeched to a stop. Ethan fell to the floor, gasping. Smoke filled the car. He crawled out through the side door onto the tracks. The tunnel stretched endlessly into darkness. He could hear it moving somewhere behind him. He ran. Lights overhead flickered as he passed. Old graffiti read, "They live below." His footsteps echoed, until he realized the echoes were multiplying. More than one, dozens, he stopped. Something was crawling on the ceiling. Dozens of glowing eyes opened above him. The monsters weren't alone. They had nests down here. They had a city beneath the city. He ran until his lungs burned. Ahead, a maintenance door. He slammed into it, forced it open, stumbled into an old service tunnel. The air stank of decay. The walls pulsed faintly, like something breathing behind them. He pressed on, panting, until he reached a staircase. Up toward a faint red light. He pushed through a final metal door and burst out into the open night. He was in an alleyway. New York skyline above him, rain still falling. He laughed, half mad, half relieved. He turned toward the street. But the street was empty. No cars, no people, no sound. The city was silent. The lights in every window were off. Then, one by one, the skyscrapers flickered, revealing dark shapes crawling on the glass. Thousands of them. Ethan stepped back in horror. His phone buzzed in his pocket. A message flashed across the screen. You left the tunnels. But the city is theirs now. He dropped the phone. Behind him, something enormous rose from the alley's shadow. A shape that touched the rooftops, eyes glowing through the rain. He didn't scream. He couldn't. The last sound New York ever heard was the thunder of something feeding beneath the storm.